Welcome to Transits Fridays. Let's talk about what's happening in the sky from this week, from Friday, the 17th of November until next Friday. So how can we navigate these transits? What's the best that we can do? Because this is constructive astrology. So it's all about co-creating the beautiful life that you want to live, rather than fear-mongering and saying all the things are going to be bad and it's going to be awful and justifying all our shortcomings and whatnot. So if you love knowing what the transits can bring you in terms of opportunities, then stay with me. Let's have a look at this week. So basically what we're going to be what we're going to be covering in this short video, because there's not so much happening this week, are three main aspects. So we do have Sag season starting, we have another planet moving to Sag, and we have the Sun-Mars conjunction as well, which will be happening exact this weekend as well. So basically there's a very yang energy this week, and how can we make the most of it? How can we surf this wave? Basically that's what we're going to be covering. So let me share my screen. And welcome. I am Hitchhiking Stars Fernanda Paiva, or Fernanda Paiva Hitchhiking Stars. I keep shifting things around. Yeah, welcome to my channel if this is your first time, and welcome again if you keep coming back. That's great, and I'm very happy to see you here again. So as per, let me know in the comments how this week has been for you, what's been going on. Did you do anything during this new moon? Did you feel anything with the energy of the full moon as well, or the new moon? That new moon Uranus that we had this week as well, like what was going on, what intentions did you set? Excuse me, what happened for you? For me, it's been a somewhat challenging week, but mainly because we're going through a very intense heat wave in Brazil, and it's a little bit scary, like knowing about climate change and all of that. That maybe this is going to become the new normal. I don't know. Like, I do remember in my childhood 30 degrees was already really hot, and now we're sort of navigating 40 degrees, and it's just like, whoa, that is a little bit intense. In fact, I heard that in Rio de Janeiro there was like 52 degrees Celsius, that is, and there was a thermic sensation of 60. I mean, that is insane. And that does feel like that Mars sun sort of energy, you know, that sort of hot, boiling hot, feverish, intense energy, really. And so this week has been like that here in Brazil for us. We're sort of navigating the best way we can. And luckily, hopefully, finally, this heat wave is going to end this weekend. So I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, and so this is how it's going for me. Let me know what's happening for you. And I love to hear from you. I love the comments. Like I said before, I love creating a little sense of community, building a community here, you know, is a safe space to express yourself, to be yourself. You know, my midheaven is in Leo, and it's all about being you and valuing who you are as an individual as well. All right. So with all of that said, let's dive into the astrology of this week, and this very strong yang energy. So what can we use this yang energy, right? So yang energy, which means fire, sun, Mars, those are like reflective of yang rather than yin energy. So it's more extroverted, is more out there. Oh, my necklace just fell down. I'm telling you, it's really hot here. Anyhow, so yang energy is more out there, is more introverted. It's got to do with something that we can do, that we can accomplish, that we can do out there in the world, rather than going inwards and looking into our inner life. So I think that's also in balance with the lunar phase, because we just came out of a new moon on Monday on the 13th, and now we're sort of heading towards the first quarter as well this week. And again, first quarter of the moon is about action taking. So it's kind of supporting this sense of a young energy. And I don't mean young as in new, I mean yang, as in yin and yang. So I think this is one of the major characteristics of this week. And you can see this is Friday, this is the chart for right now, and we've got the Sun and Mars traveling together very close. And again, if you have anything at those degrees of Scorpio or Taurus or Leo or Aquarius, you're going to feel that very powerfully, right? Because it will be activating your personal chart. So this energy will be even stronger. I saw Kelly Surtees saying something about these Mars Sun conjunction as a kind of a fresh new energy for beginnings, for starting new projects, for taking action in that way. And I quite like that. I think that's a great way of seeing it, is this sort of fresh yang energy, powerful action initiative that we can have during these days, you know, this whole weekend until this actually perfects. And again, if that picks up your chart strongly, oh, that's a year. I need to change it for days. So if that picks up your chart personally strongly, then that's going to be even more relevant for you. The sense of a new beginning, a fresh new injection of energy there for you. But even if it doesn't pick up any personal planet or angle or anything, it's still going to be falling in a house. So whichever house you've got, 25 degrees of Scorpio, more or less, that's where this conjunction is going to be. That's where this sort of new impulse, new energy will be as well. This strong yang energy will be. So we'll still have the Mercury-Venus sextile that I talked about as well last week, and the sense of understanding and having insights about our values and what we value, what we find beautiful, how to express ourselves in a little bit more, taking into consideration the desire to make connections. That's the Venus, right? So we are not going to be just the classic blunt that Sagittarius represents. Mercury and Sagittarius blunt out the truth. I think the sextile with Venus might still take others into consideration in the process. So this is there, like, this is it on the Saturday, so the 18th, so tomorrow, that's when we have the conjunction. Is pretty exact. It will be happening at 25 degrees of Scorpio, and I think these energy will be with us for a little longer. That's a kind of a, and again, when we have conjunctions between planets, that's a new cycle, referring to what these two planets represent. So it's a pure, masculine, I don't mean in a necessarily binary way here of a man, a woman, or whatever, but like a yang energy is a masculine, extroverted, go-getter, the hero, the sense of conquering, of making it happen. You don't wait to happen. You don't seduce and lure, which is more of a Venus and a more receptive energy, but you go after. So I think that Mars Sun energy there, this new cycle of these two planets together, are really representing that. So what I can say as well for this Saturday is to say a little prayer, go, a little bit into what would you like to accomplish, set some intentions regarding these kind of energies. Like, what are you after? What do you want to bring into your life? What do you want to go after, to conquer? Where do you want to be courageous and courageously face something? So there's something about that, and finding what house that conjunction falls could be really helpful. And if you know what house but you don't know how to interpret that, write down in the comments. That can help you get some insights or brainstorm what sort of meanings we can have with the house where this Sun Mars is going to conjoin. So this is the energy there, obviously still in opposition to Uranus, 5 degrees of orb, but that's still in opposition. So it's still about finding freedom, finding space, autonomy, doing your own thing, not following the mass or how other people do things as well, and etc. So finding your own unique way of doing these things. And perhaps it could be about conquering our own shadows as well, because it's in Scorpio. This is something of that that kind of quality is still there. It's also in trine to Neptune, so it could be forgiving the past, finding that you're ready to move on from the past. And in fact, I feel that this week, because it's the end of Scorpio season, we're sort of wrapping up the Scorpionic themes that we've been dealing with, anything that has to do with death, rebirth, going deeper, looking into the dark sides of our psyche, etc. We're wrapping it up. And I think that this conjunction between Sun and Mars is the first step. And also the trine to Neptune is another step in this journey, because it's about letting go, it's about moving on, it's about forgiving, being ready to bring a new energy into your life as well, using creatively this trine here. I think can be really useful. And it could be literally creative, as in like doing creative work, putting these Mars some Mars energy, the anger that we might get in touch with, the strong burst of energy into an artwork, if we are artists or if we have that kind of inclination. Or it could be between our relationships as well, the sense of forgiveness, or it could be our spiritual practices as well, and our healing practices, and anything that has to do with that we can think of. All right, so this conjunction is definitely one of the main things of this weekend. Here, look, they're still going to be traveling very, very close together on Sunday at 26 degrees, the Scorpio. And that's when we're having also the first quarter. I think will be happening here on Monday. And again, look, they're still traveling very close together on Monday the 20th with, Mars, Sun and Mars at 27 Scorpio. So that's a very relevant conjunction here, which will be with us very strongly this week, and will be part of that first quarter as well of the moon. And in fact, this is also sextile to Pluto, isn't it? Again, it really gives me this feeling of having the energy, having the oomph, tapping into this more yang energy and doing some extra healing there in our path, doing some extra regeneration and rebirth and etc. So that's there for us as well, taking action, making the most of it as well, of this energy. And here we have 29:59, which means it's going to be on the 22nd, because if I change 2 hours here, we're going to see that an hour later, Sun has shifted into Sagittarius. So this is the beginning of Sag season officially. We already had Mercury moving to Sag before, so our mindset has already shifted into that sort of energy. And here we have the Sun at 0 Sag, which will square Saturn. They're both at 0 degrees. Look, there's a 90 degrees between the two. And is echoing that Mercury, the square Saturn as well. And potential challenges with authorities, so really be mindful of that. Be mindful of how you express yourself, the things you say, and your search for freedom might be encroaching on someone else's or another important older figure in your life as well. That's that Saturn. So it's important to balance the need for restriction, the need for freedom and self-expression here as soon as the Sun moves into Sag. But that's the kickstart of Sagittarius season. I think that Saturn tempers a little bit and says, hey, slow down, which is, a big thing for Sagittarians, which like to go, very fast on the fast lane, really. But I think it will temper a little bit the Sag season in general, slow down in general the energy of Sag, because that's the chart of the ingress of the Sun in Sag as well anyways, which tells us a little bit about the Sag season in general. But is a change of color, is a change of energy, is a change of perception here that we're beginning to get, that we started with that Mercury shifting into Sag, but with the Sun as well. It's like, wanting to explore the horizons anymore. We don't want to go down to the den anymore and search for the dark sides. So it's really giving us that sort of thumbs up to go further, to look for the higher purpose of things, to search for meanings, to think more philosophically, to express ourselves more philosophically as well. So that's the beginning of Sag season. And then shortly after, that's still in an hour here. Mind me, my brain is melting a little bit with this heat wave. And I'm trying my best. So 23rd, we have this Mars at 20 degrees Scorpio. So right on the 24th, which is the next Friday, we're going to have the planet Mars moving to Sag as well. So kind of finishing up that sort of shift between those planets in Scorpio, moving signs and moving into these more, gathering a little bit more fresh air, wanting to come up to the surface again and look up to the stars. That's a little bit of a Sag kind of energy there. And again, Mars in Sag will also square Saturn, which again, it gives a bit of a more restrictive quality here, a more restrictive energy. Is not just open the windows, run into the sunshine, or run into the sunset. it has a little bit more, you know, can't quite just run there, but there's definitely this change of quality. And again, I think what I would suggest with this energy of Mars, the square Saturn there, is to temper your anger, to find out creative ways to express frustration. You know, you might feel frustrated that you can't get things your way, or you can't get things going fast as you wish, because that Saturn is there. But you know, remember this very, very intense yang energy this week. And I think the square to Saturn is telling you mature that side of yourself, of your expression, of your attempts to conquer the world. You know, it's like, slow down, be more mature about it, you know, consider the emotions as well, and the emotions of people involved, with, you know, Saturn being in the water sign as well. You're not just separated, you can't just go your way, you know, there's a sense of we're all interconnected somehow, you know, that Piscean kind of truth. So that's it, really. This is what I wanted to share with you about this week. I hope is useful. I hope you can make the most of this yang energy in a constructive, beautiful way, without, you know, stepping on people's toes, or stepping on your own, or shooting your own feet, as well. And let me know in the comments, you know, what resonated with you more, what your plans are for this week, or if that's picking up your chart. And I'll be seeing you all next week. I'm planning to do some more videos about highly sensitives and empaths, because I'm really enjoying the subject, and the more I dive into, the more I'm finding how useful this is. And I really want to share it with you a little bit more. So let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular that you want to know more. And I'll be seeing you all next week. So take care now. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.